All right, welcome everybody to the Moneyshift YouTube channel. I am Thanasi, and today we have the big boy, the F-250, but not just any F-250, because we've covered them on this channel before. We have a Lariat with the Tremor package. This thing is fully kitted out, and before we get into the details, let's take a look at the sticker price of this car so we know what we're working with. We got a 2023 F-250 with the 7.3 liter Godzilla V8 engine. That V8 engine is mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission, and this car has a price of $79,000. But it's not just any F-250. Not only do we have the Lariat, but we have the Tremor off-road package, which gives you 35-inch tires, skid plates, the aluminum in gloss black. We have a moonroof here, and we have the Lariat Ultimate package, which includes tow tech, uplifter switches, and a tailgate step. So what we're going to do in this video is see not only how the brand new F-250 is, but if it is worth that $79,000 price tag. Now, when Ford updated the design of the front end of this F-250, Tesla folks would call it a brand new truck, but we're just going to call it a mid-cycle refresh because that's what it is. They gave it a new front end, new rear end, and new interior. Admittedly, the new front end I wasn't entirely sold on when it first came out. They gave it this massive new headlight, and on the higher trim Lariat models, and as we've seen in the past, the STX, which now also gets the LED light. This light is huge, guys. Look at this. Is my hand. I am a decently big human, okay, and this is my hand. This thing is just massive. The F-250 has evolved from being, well, effectively an F-150 size truck to a mini semi. This thing is freaking huge, and that front end took a lot to get used to. I actually preferred it in the more work truck spec, like this dump body with the 6.7 power stroke over here. I liked that headlight and grille design more than I liked the updated LED, but it's coming around on me. I don't know, I'm liking it a little more that I see it. I like how this Tremor is set up, where there's no chrome. It's all blacked out with the red, with the Tremor logos. It just looks really, really good. Now we see the Wrangler Goodyear tires. These are 35s. It looks menacing. Honestly, this thing, standard stance, looks really good. Love the rapid red paint. Overall, it looks awesome. F-250s have this side step, which can help you get into the back. But to be honest, because this truck is so high up the ground, higher because it's a Tremor, to get up here, you're holding on to the bed and you're giving it all you got to get up. Once you do, you have a beautiful view into the bed. And the bed of this F-250 is pretty massive. Now, we don't have any power on board like we would in an F-150 or even a Maverick, which is interesting, especially when the truck costs almost $80,000. Lowering the bed here, look at this damped tailgate. Ooh, baby, is that premium. Once it's lowered, you'll see we do also have the step here, should we want to use it, that comes right out and allows you to sort of get right on. You can bring this up here so that you have some extra stability, so you can grab and get in to the back of your pickup. And this is how you lower it. 2, down, push, up, push. Done. Easy. Very simple. Love this system to get into the back of this truck. Honestly, you kind of sort of need this system on the side of the truck because of how tall it is. But anyway, that's here nor there. The bed, perfectly usable. I wish there was a power outlet here or something. You're spending this much money, you would want that sort of system, but this bed liner is very, very nice. Love the Ford logo. Love what they did over the wheels. Love that they keep the ruler here, because at the end of the day, the 250 should be a work truck. This should not be a mall queen. So we'll see. But let's get into the inside, because the Lariat historically is the premium truck, right? This is the most expensive, or used to be one of the most expensive Ford products you could buy. So what do you get for all that money. Well, you step inside the cabin and you notice pretty quickly the money you're spending. For one, you have a massive digital screen in front of you. For two, you have a massive screen to your right. For three, when you start it up, we have a heads-up display with a startup animation in a Super Duty truck. Those are words that I never thought I would say, because this thing is a work truck, guys. When I was growing up, back in my day when I was growing up, the luxuries in a pickup were not something you would really expect. Well, you also probably wouldn't expect paying $80,000 for an F-250, but here we are. At the very least, this car does have the features and the materials to support that price tag. This rear door car does have nice materials up top with hard plastics underneath. Taking a look at these rear seats, you have perforated leather with some red piping to break up the black. It doesn't quite match the Rapid Red, but that's okay. I think it'd look a little bit too gaudy if it did. We have two map pockets, two rear vents, heated seats, two USB-Cs, and two outlets for you to charge your laptop, for you to charge your whatever you want. You can use it for anything. You have this drop down for two cup holders, little short, but that's okay. You also have this massive sunroof. This thing is huge. It's not Tesla, it doesn't fully take up the space, but it is quite large. Taking our business to the front, the materials get even better. You see this wood, you see this switch for the trailer mirrors, which makes them move automatically. You don't have to push it out with your hands. You're spending $80,000. It's got to be power. Two memory seat functions, all of the light functionality to the left of the steering wheel. You have a switch there that moves the pedals closer to you or further away. Remember, we're driving a semi here, so you got all the functionality you need to make the seating setup perfect for you. Lumbar support, this massive, very sturdy piece of metal that allows you to get into this truck, and you need it. This isn't optional anymore. You need one of these things standard because of how high up this truck is from the ground. On the left side of the steering wheel, you have all your cruise control settings, lane centering, radar cruise, the whole nine. You have your volume and your Siri knob there as well. For the sync, it works all the same. Right side, you have your call and track functionality, and you can also control the digital display. Turn this car on and you see that massive digital display and the startup sequence on the heads-up display that I was talking about previously. This instrument cluster is glorious. It is clear. It is vibrant. It loads quickly. Changing through the menus is seamless in this truck. This center screen is just the same. It functions very, very quickly. You have a 360-degree camera in your truck, and you need it because this thing is freaking huge. You have the hill descent control there as well. The hazards, you got all nine. You got the Pro Trailer Assist there, which obviously we can't debut or show off here. Integrated trailer brake. You have your drive mode selector and your 4 high, 4 low, 2 high selector. Buttons and knobs, heated ventilated seats, heated steering wheel, dual zone climate, 12 volt, another outlet, because why not? How do you open this, you ask? Don't worry, I'll tell you. It's a button to the right of the infotainment. Right there. Hit that, bang. She opens right up, and you have more storage on top. If that's not enough for you, you have a conventional glove box underneath for more storage, and you can lock it as well. This truck has all the bells and whistles. You have plenty of storage, and obviously there's plenty of storage. You have a wireless charger there, more USB-C and A, because why not? You have endless places to put things. You have endless amounts of cup holders. There's just so much going on in this truck. But let's get behind the wheel so you can see how this F-250 actually drives. Is it worth the money? We are behind the wheel of this $80,000 pickup truck. What are my initial thoughts? Well, first comes first, this steering wheel is fantastic. I love the material that's used on it. I love the thickness. It's squishy without being too thick. It really does feel nice in the hands. This is a premium steering wheel. Shout out to Ford. Well done on the execution of that. I definitely feel all $80,000 in this steering wheel. When it comes to the features in this truck, you also actually feel that price. We got heated seats, ventilated seats, heated steering wheel. We got a huge sunroof. We have the massive heads-up display. This might be one of the biggest heads-up displays I've ever seen, and it does something I've never seen. You actually can see your turn signal in the heads-up display, in addition to speed limit, current speed, temperature, the road lines. If I go outside the road lines, it lets me know on my heads-up display. That's something that I have never seen before in another pickup truck, in another car. In this car, in this truck does that. So we're getting something for $80,000 that I wouldn't have gotten in something that's $40,000. So I love that touch. We also get the Pro Trailer Assist, which obviously we're not going to demonstrate during the course of this video, but there's a lot of tech there. We have a 360 camera that's really high res, which is great. There's a lot of tech here, so it definitely feels like it justifies the price of nearly $80,000. But how does it drive? Well, let's lean into the throttle a little bit here. Good sound from that 7.3 liter V8. I don't know if it's as good as the 5.0 that we had last week in the Mustang GT, but it definitely does sound really, really nice. The steering is exactly what you would expect in a pickup truck of this size. It's definitely soulless in terms of there's literally no input coming through this steering wheel, but at the very least, to Ford's credit, it is direct. I don't have much on center play, and because of that, every action that I make with this steering wheel is one that feels purposeful, and it doesn't feel like I could sort of shimmy a steering wheel within the lane and the truck not go anywhere. You see, the whole body is actually moving when I do that, and I like that, especially in a pickup truck like this. I love that we have a good lane centering and radar cruise control. I actually do quite enjoy the ride so far. While these roads initially have been pretty smooth, any of the bumps or expansion joints or things like that I've gone over, this Tremor suspension has just handled it very, very easily, honestly, which has been great. Now, because we have this 10-speed, listen to it shift through the gears. Similar shift action to the Mustang that we drove last week, but because we have that 10-speed at 50 miles an hour, we are cruising under 2,000 RPM, making this thing a supreme highway cruiser, which is phenomenal. Again, lovely day here in New Hampshire. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the vista, because hey, we are at the same height on road as a frickin' semi truck. So you guys will probably see things this week that you didn't see last week, even though we're driving a similar road, because we're 100,000 feet higher than we were in the Ford Mustang. But how are the brakes as we go through some of these turns? Let's try and press the brakes a little bit here. Oh, love that, actually. Very consistent pressure. No early bite. A lot of times in pickup trucks, what they do is load up the first couple inches of travel, so you sort of almost jerk yourself. This truck does not do that. It's very progressive, very SUV-like in terms of brake pedal feel, which I actually adore that they went that direction instead of what more pickups do, which is give you that initial bite early on and then nothing for a long time. So kudos to Ford. That is well set up. So overall, so far, we have a truck that drives well, that cruises well, that has a ton of features, and has a big honkin' V8 underneath the hood. So why am I not freaking out over this car, telling everyone to rush to their local Ford dealer to spend nearly $80,000 on a pickup truck? Do I think it justifies the price tag? 100%. I actually do, and I didn't think going into this video I was going to say that. For $80,000, you are getting a premium level interior, a beautiful, huge sunroof, auxiliary switches here, a wonderful HD camera, a beautiful digital dash, a massive heads-up display. This 7.3 sounds great. This 10-speed in this truck is silky smooth. but you're also spending $80,000 for a car that probably gets 11 mpg at best. You're spending $80,000 for a truck that, if you're not using it to do truck things every day, is too tall. It's hard to navigate parking lots. It's wide. It's long. What's the benefit here, right? Now, if you're working, if you are using this truck every day to tow, every day to haul, every day to do pickup truck things, tell me in the comments why you would not get a 350. Tell me in the comments why you would not get something else. I want to know what brings you to a 250 and what brings you to a gasser and what brings you to a Lariat. That is where I am struggling, because while I'm having a good time cruising these corners, if you can believe it, on the beautiful Ocean Drive of New Hampshire, truly this is one of the most beautiful test drives that we will continuously do whenever we get cars from the fine folks over at Hampton Ford. I mean, look at this water, guys. This is absolutely gorgeous. But tell me why you would get this. Now, I'm not saying get that, right? I'm not saying go from a 250 to a Ridgeline. No, I'm not trying to say that. I'm not trying to advocate that. I truly want the community to help me out here, because I am unsure why this truck exists. Why would someone get an F-250 with the big gas engine in Lariat, in Tremor, in that full dance over a diesel, over a 350? Because when you're spending $80,000 on a pickup truck, oh my goodness, look at that view. That is it right there, guys. That view, these waves, I'm sorry, I had to take a second. It is just absolutely gorgeous. If you agree, let me know in the comments. Shout out to New Hampshire, man. This is gorgeous. But anyway, I just don't, once you get to that price tag, that $80,000 mark, things come a little harder. You can get a lot of different types of trucks for that money. You can get Raptor F-150s. You can get fully loaded F-150s. You can get fully loaded 250s. You can get less fully loaded 350s. You can get diesels. You can get gassers. So why is someone buying this? Who is the naturally aspirated Tremor Lariat buyer? I want to hear from you if you're in the comments, because I actually do think this truck justifies its near $79,000 price tag. It's got the tech, it's got the ride, it's got the engine, it's got the size. I just don't understand why it exists, who the buyer is. So let me know if you're in the comments. Overall, my final thoughts are pretty simple. This F-250 cruises like nothing else. This engine revs up like trucks in this price dream of. This interior fully justifies this price. The tech is actually really good. This screen is great. The fidelity of the center digital cluster is excellent. The heads-up display is gorgeous. I'm just struggling to understand who the buyer is of this truck and why, A, they're not saving a lot of money and going F-150, or B, getting something that is more work-oriented, something that's a diesel, something that's a 350. Maybe I don't know. And maybe, again, I am claiming ignorance here. There is a high likelihood that I am being completely ignorant to a specific subset of buyer that is interested in a pickup truck like this. But if you're that person, I want to hear from you, and I want to hear why you would spend $80,000 on an F-250 Lariat Tremor instead of something like an F-150, or instead of something like a more work-oriented 350. Let me know in the comments. I'm Moneyshift. This is the F-250 Lariat Tremor, and I hate to say it, I kind of love it. While I don't understand who it's for, it justifies its price tag, and I love that it exists. This is Moneyshift. We'll see you on the next one. Goodbye. This heads-up display just got even more impressive. Check this out. This thing has the ability in different modes to change how it looks. So this is what it looks like in normal. You can see the speed limit, the temperature, and the drive lines like you saw when we were driving. When you swap it over to tow haul, it swaps to this awesome RPM gauge. You see what gear you're in, you see the speed you're going, and you see the speed limit. But when you switch switch to off-road, things get even more interesting. You can actually see the angle that the truck is pitched at if you are going off-road. You see the RPM counter underneath. You see what you're in, 2 high, 4 low, 4 high, whatever, what gear you're in, the speed you're going, and you can see the temp, which is really, really cool. This system, see that? Oh, that's a better view. Let's try to cycle through one more time. This is off-road. This is tow haul. This is normal. Pretty cool stuff out of this Super Duty.